Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the Arctic blast blowing in from the north has brought treacherous driving conditions with it. We'll tell you how many wrecks Goliad County saw yesterday as we warn you to drive with caution in these icy conditions. And the 10th annual Day of Reflection and Reconciliation was held at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall Monday in Washington, D.C. Plus, New York City marked 15 years since the Miracle on the Hudson emergency plane landing on the Hudson River.
And that frigid freezing weather is going to continue this morning and overnight tonight, issuing an alert day. So we'll take a look at that weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 16th day of January 2024. The time is now 6:31 on our Tuesday morning, and it is National Boston Day.
Boston Day. I actually just went to Boston a couple years ago.
Oh, great. Me too. I love Boston.
Boston, very cool city. Very cool town.
It's probably a lot chillier than it is here today, though.
I can imagine. In fact, I'll have to go check what those temperatures are because they're still dealing with a second blizzard up there in Northeast Carolina.
Gosh.
Carolina, it does feel like a blizzard here, doesn't it?
They have the infrastructure, though. We don't.
We're not the same. We have different energy infrastructure. We have different housing infrastructure. We're not really meant for the cold. And I don't know about you, but I'm not meant for the cold either. I don't know if y'all are meant for the cold either, because if y'all are not, or if you are, make sure to bundle up, because if y'all are tuning in with us this morning, you're looking at a live look Eastern Victoria. Well, look at that. That pretty sunrise is starting to come up and those clear skies. So that's actually a little bit of good news to brighten up your day. But you're going to need it to brighten up your day, or at least warm up your day, because it is 22 out there and the feels like temperature is 8 degrees with those winds at 17 miles an hour out of the north. So please be sure to bundle up out there, because looking across the board, all of us out there are in the low 20s this morning. And I wouldn't be surprised within the next 10, maybe even 15 minutes or so, one more of us, or like Hounsville or maybe Wharton, y'all hit the upper teens, because Bay City, y'all are in the teens this morning. Very chilly. In fact, for the rest of the day, we actually are going to just barely break freezing, just barely get above freezing today. I'm forecasting it to be about 35 today, about 34, 35, but then dropping back into even colder temperatures overnight tonight. And that's actually what is prompting an alert day, because we've got wind chill advisories, we got wind chill warnings, and we've got hard freeze warnings all in effect for today. So that's actually what's prompting your alert day for today, because temperatures are overnight going to drop into the low 20s. We've got a hard freeze warning, and those wind chill warnings are in effect for all of us here in the Crossroads this morning and tonight. So make sure to wrap your pipes outside. Definitely want to wrap your water pipes outside, and make sure to also leak your faucets as well. Make sure to also try and conserve energy, because the ERCOT just issued a new appeal for energy usage from 6 to 9 a.m. But make sure to keep your plants warm and your pets warm, and also make sure to shut down your sprinklers systems as well. Now, coming up a little bit, we're going to take a look at those temperatures are for the rest of this week as well, and we'll take a look at that in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Victoria Transit will have a delayed start today due to icy weather conditions. All routes will begin at 9 a.m. And several area school districts and college campuses have closed their doors today because of the freezing conditions. Victoria ISD has canceled all classes for today. That includes after-school activities and evening events as well. All district facilities and offices will also close for the day. And St. Joseph High School will not open today. The school has canceled all athletic practices, competitions, and other extracurricular events. Also included in the campus closures, Faith Academy. This includes the campus's Cub Care. The academy will not have classes today. Also, UHV and UHV Katy will close their doors today. The university has canceled all classes at these locations. And all Victoria College locations have shut down and will cancel classes today due to bad weather and road conditions. Calhoun County ISD has closed today, opening 2 hours later on Wednesday. Cora ISD has canceled school today, and as of now, normal school hours will resume on Wednesday. In Bloomington ISD, they canceled classes today as well, and they'll have a late start for classes tomorrow, with school starting at 10 a.m. More school closings posted on our website, CrossroadsToday.com. Sleet started coming down in Victoria in the early morning hours. It came down for several minutes, and Victoria police report several crashes yesterday due to icy road conditions. They're advising drivers to slow down, do not use cruise control, increase following distance, and use extra caution on bridges and overpasses. The winter storm led to a flood of crashes Monday morning in Goliad County. Sheriff Roy Boyd told us there were 6 wrecks in the county. 2 people transported to the hospital. 4 of the crashes were rollovers. No one died in the wrecks. With the icy conditions battering the crossroads, it leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, did your power go out? Okay, let's take a look. 12% of you say yes, it did, and 88% of you say no, it did not. Thank you for taking part in this morning's viewer poll. We now turn to escalating tensions in the Middle East after Iran launched a deadly missile strike inside Iraq near the U.S. consulate. The strikes are raising concern that Iran is getting more aggressive in the region.
This morning, explosions in the city of Erbil, Iraq, after neighboring Iran launched ballistic missiles claiming to target the local headquarters of Israel's intelligence agency. At least 4 civilians were reportedly killed, some blasts near the U.S. consulate. Others also reported in Syria. All of this raising concern about a wider spillover of violence across the region stemming from the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
We've done everything we can to deter this, but it obviously did not work, and the choice was up to Iran. So I do think Iran will likely amp up it through its proxies, of course.
Mick Mulroy, former Deputy Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, sounded the alarm last week over what Iran might do after the U.S. launched a series of attacks on Iranian-backed rebels in Yemen who've been targeting commercial ships. Angry over the violence in Gaza, the U.S. State Department overnight condemned the new attacks in Iraq, saying, "We oppose Iran's reckless missile strikes, which undermine Iraq's stability." But Iran's Revolutionary Guards today threatened more revenge, citing what it calls recent atrocities by Israel. Iraq's government is holding a security meeting today to go over Iran's non-compliance with the security deal between the two countries. And here in the U.S., Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is now out of the hospital after prostate cancer treatment, just in time to face this new escalation. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and there were many events around the country to honor the civil rights leader's memory. In Washington, D.C., it was the 10th annual Day of Reflection and Reconciliation held at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial on the National Mall. The event included a prayer, singing, notable speakers, and a wreath-laying ceremony to recognize Dr. King Jr.'s life and legacy. For the past decade, more than 3 million people have visited the memorial on the National Mall every year, making it one of the must-see destinations in our nation's capital. It was 15 years ago Monday that the so-called miracle on the Hudson happened in New York. U.S. Airways Flight 1549 left New York City's LaGuardia Airport headed to Charlotte, North Carolina, when the Airbus A320 struck a flock of Canadian geese shortly after takeoff. Unable to reach any nearby airport, pilots Chelsea Sullenberger and Jeffrey Skiles glided the plane into the Hudson River just off the shore of Midtown Manhattan. All 155 people on board survived the landing, and they were rescued by nearby boats and emergency personnel. 100 people were hurt, 5 of them seriously, but thankfully no one died. The damaged fuselage of Flight 1549 now resides in a museum in Charlotte, North Carolina. A California homeowner got the shock of her life Saturday morning when she found a bear making itself comfortable in her basement. The homeowner went down to her basement and saw the bear nestled in the corner, falling asleep. The animal had apparently made entrance to the basement through a crawl space. The homeowner attempted to get the bear to leave by banging on pots, pans, and even a leaf blower. But ultimately, it was the stench of mothballs that she threw toward the bear that made it scurry away. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:39 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. We take a look at how MLK Day was observed locally.
I'm ABC's Em Nguyen in Des Moines, Iowa. Former President Trump cements himself as the GOP frontrunner in this race for president. The results coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your fishing forecast, that algae report as well, and later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at all the winter advisories that are still in effect. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If y'all tuning in with us this morning, look at a live look at Cuero, where it's nice and clear out there, and it is also very chilly out there. And the low 20s this morning. It's actually 20 flat right now. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised in the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, y'all drop another 1 degree and hit the upper teens. But if you don't like that, it's also, that feels like is 8 degrees out there in the Cuero area with those 12-mile-an-hour winds out of the north. So please make sure to bundle up this morning. It is very, very, very cold. And it's also going to be very cold for the rest of the day, only heating up to just a little bit above freezing. So I'm not sure it's going to be the greatest day to go fishing because we got a gale warning also in effect with your rough seas and those winds at 25 knots out of the north, gusting up to 35 today. So not the greatest day to go fishing, but if you love the cold and you love the wind, today's the day for you. And also, more other good news is there's not going to be too much pollen today. The tree pollen is going to be low today, and grass and ragweed are non-existent because we still got all that air, all that wind is going to sweep all that pollen out of our area. But we still had a low day issue for today because we're going to be dropping to the low 20s over tonight. But then later this week, we might have another shot at hitting freezing again. So we'll take a look at that in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. And a strong start for the Republican presidential nomination. Former President Trump wins big in Iowa. His projected victory coming just 30 minutes after caucuses began. Ron DeSantis clinching second place, just barely edging out Nikki Haley, who was third. And now entrance polls are telling us more about what voters think of the candidates.
In Iowa, a resounding win for Donald Trump, who smashed a record for his wide margin of victory. The former president with a projected win after just 30 minutes, receiving more than 51% of the vote, tightening his grip on the 2024 Republican presidential nomination.
What a turnout, what a crowd. And I really think this is time now for everybody, our country, to come together.
Governor Ron DeSantis finishing in a distant second with about 21% of the vote after rallying in all 99 counties. DeSantis sounding triumphant for edging Haley in the GOP contest for second.
Because of your support, in spite of all of that they threw at us, everyone against us, we've got our ticket punched out of Iowa.
Behind DeSantis by just 2%, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, who called her third place finish a testament to the momentum she's been gaining.
I can safely say tonight, Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
And despite the bitter sub-zero temperatures, entrance polls show who turned out to support Trump in the state. One question asking, do you think that Joe Biden legitimately won the presidency in 2020? 66% saying no.
Quite overwhelmingly, 2/3 believing something that is flatly untrue. This is Trump's party. They believe what he says.
Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy announced he's dropping out of the race and backing Trump. President Joe Biden fundraising off of Trump's victory in Iowa, saying this election was always going to be you and me versus extreme MAGA Republicans. Candidates now have their sights set on New Hampshire's primary just 1 week away. A recent poll shows Nikki Haley within striking distance of Trump there. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Des Moines, Iowa.
Martin Luther King Jr. celebrations came to a halt yesterday due to weather. Houston canceled, Austin canceled, San Antonio canceled, and Dallas postponed. But right here in the Crossroads, the Old Landmark Committee hosted their March on Wheels. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick explains.
25 degrees could not stop this community from celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. Around 140 people gathered to march, but the weather conditions changed the march into a caravan. 16 vehicles lined up at Martin Luther King Jr. Park and ended at St. Peter's Baptist Church. The Old Landmark Committee says MLK is too important not to be celebrated.
He just wanted everybody to get along, the blacks, the whites, everybody of every nationality to get along, not fight, but to get along and just be, everybody get together and help each other.
The event hosted government and local authorities. Also, key speakers discussed more than MLK. Civil rights attorney Matthew Manning mentioned the importance of voting.
We have to continue fighting for what he demanded when he demanded that we be given the ballot. Now our charge is a little bit different. It's not just getting the ballot, but it's making sure that our ballot has its full force.
The Old Landmark Committee continues to work on more events. In 1963, MLK said darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. The committee fights to be that light. Reporting in Victoria, I'm Darius McCormick, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
The time is now 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come, erectile dysfunction drugs may increase the risk of early death when combined with a common drug used for chest pain.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. If y'all tuning in with us this morning, it is very, very cold out there this morning. Starting out in the low 20s. Actually, right now it's 22 degrees here on the Crossroads. And yesterday, we started out at 23 degrees, which actually breaks our all-time record low of 25 by 2 degrees. And another little fun fact for you is right now, we are breaking that record low yet again. 25 is that record low for this morning, and we are breaking it yet again by 3 degrees this time. And yesterday, we only got up to 28. We didn't even break freezing yesterday, but that cold weather is going to continue into this morning and tonight. That's why I have an alert day issue for today, because we've got a hard freeze warning for tonight and right now as well this morning, and wind chill warning as well, because those wind chills are in the single digits. It is very cold. In fact, the wind chill right now here in the Crossroads is about 8 degrees. So please bundle up out there. And also please make sure to wrap your pipes outside. Also keep your plants and your animals warm, and also make sure to shut down your sprinklers as well, because that's another big thing that can change, or at least big thing that can break with that freezing temperatures out there, because they've got the water in there. Water expands when it freezes, and it will break all of your sprinklers. So got a wind chill advisory out there this morning. Also got a wind chill warning, and we also have a hard freeze warning as well, and that's what is prompting our alert days for today. And right now temperatures are in the low 20s, but tonight going to warm up just a little bit going into this afternoon, just barely breaking freezing today, but tonight going right back into those low 20s, and even some of us in the upper teens. And we'll take a look at those temperatures and more in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Erectile dysfunction drugs may increase the risk of an early death when combined with a common drug for chest pain. That's from a study published Monday in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. The study included over 60,000 men with stable coronary artery disease and a history of a heart attack or revascularization, a non-surgical procedure that treats blockages. It found that men taking erectile dysfunction medications along with nitrates, a common drug used for chest pain, saw an increase in their risk for heart failure and early death. The study does have weaknesses, including not knowing exactly how patients took both medications, the timing, how often, what instructions they were given, and which types of nitrates and ED drugs they took. Patients who want to use ED medications are advised to talk to their doctors about other treatment options and about how to take them along with nitrates. Boeing becoming more transparent as it begins preliminary inspections on its 737 MAX 9 airplanes. Monday, the company announced it will give airlines more oversight of its facilities. Now, alongside additional quality control inspections of its 737 production line, Boeing will allow airlines into its factories and those of the contractor that builds the MAX 9 fuselage. Boeing's announcement comes after the Federal Aviation Administration grounded the MAX 9 planes after a plug door blew out mid-flight. The incident happened on January 5th during an Alaska Airlines flight from Oregon to California. The National Transportation Safety Board continues to investigate the incident. Meanwhile, Alaska Airlines began its own preliminary inspections over the weekend on 20 of its MAX 9 planes. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Severe weather moved through San Antonio on Monday, causing treacherous road conditions. Two warming centers remain open in Victoria. The warming center at First United Methodist Church is at 407 North Bridge Street will close at 8 a.m. Wednesday. The church is collecting donations of bottled water, individually packaged snacks, light throw blankets, and socks. And the Salvation Army of Victoria headquarters, they open as a warming center anytime the temperature drops below 35 degrees or below 30 degrees in wind chill. And actually a third warming center, I know I said two, but a third one is now open. Our Lady of Sorrows Trinity Hall, that's at 204 West River Street. That's going to be open until 8 a.m. Wednesday. Families are encouraged to come. And there will be some warming centers in Cuero open. The Cuero Fire Department, that's at 219 East Main Street. That's open from 8 a.m. through 5 p.m. through Wednesday. Also, the Cuero Municipal Library, that's at 207 East Main Street. That's going to be open as a warming center today and tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The library's phone number is 361-275-2864. Severe weather moved through Texas Monday causing treacherous road conditions. Light freezing rain mixed with sleet made morning travel difficult throughout the region. Temperatures will fall to the lowest levels this morning and near zero wind chills are expected. Several schools and universities will be closed today due to the hazardous icy conditions, and leaders are warning drivers to be cautious and to give themselves more time if they venture out. A hard freezing rain warning remains in effect until Wednesday morning. Parts of southwest Florida slammed with heavy rain and street flooding on Monday. The afternoon storms brought several inches of rain to some areas. Some streets are impassable and cars have gotten stuck in high water. Authorities say they've received several calls for flooded or stalled vehicles in the road. They advise all motorists to avoid driving in heavily flooded areas. So far, no injuries are reported. Early voting in the special Victoria election kicks off this week. The election will determine who will be the next mayor of Victoria. Early voting begins January 17th and will run through the 30th. Voters can cast their ballot at the Dr. Petty Dodson Public Health Center. That's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. starting Wednesday, and there will be extended voting hours on January 29th and 30th where voters can vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. January 23rd is the last day to apply for a ballot by mail. A Republican primary candidate forum scheduled to be held last night will now take place Monday, February 5th in Port Lavaca. The forum will be at Drifters Hall, that's at 5287 McDonald Road, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. For more information, call 361-552-6313. Attorney General Ken Paxton campaigns against House Speaker Dade Fallon in his own district. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. Let's go ahead and get a final look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, another chilly day.
Yes, another very chilly day, chilly morning that is, but also going to be very chilly tonight as well. But if you're waking up right now, look at that beautiful sunrise starting out your morning. That beautiful, pretty purple and blue as the sun's coming up at 21 degrees out there with the feels like of 5 degrees with those winds at 22 miles an hour out of the north. In fact, most of us here in the Crossroads are sticking in the low 20s, while some of us are in the upper teens this morning. Very chilly morning, which is actually going to prompt your wind chill advisories, your wind chill warnings, and your hard freeze warnings as well, because overnight tonight we're going to be in the below freezing temperatures with your wind chills in the single digits overnight. Now, we've got an alert day issue for today because we're going to be in the low 20s overnight tonight, but then we're going to be on more right back in the roller coaster weather with another cold front coming later this week.
It is so very chilly. You can feel it here in the studio.
Yes, it is windy in the studio and very chilly. It's not windy in the studio, but.
Well, we hope you have a warm blanket to keep you warm. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful Tuesday. Be safe out there. Don't leave the house unless you have to. And join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.